When you wonder where your milk comes from,
it actually starts with care. Every day we feed our cows.
We make sure their space is clean. We work together
as a team.
We are patient and responsible.
Then fresh milk is collected
from happy cows,
from caring hands,
from sugar.
Onward Farms,
fresh from our farms.
Oh, sugar!
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Coulee Flats Dairy Virtual Chat. I'm Brittany with Discover Dairy, and we are going to have so much fun today. We've got Farmer Lisa on standby. We can see all your questions and comments rolling in on that chat. And we have two of the cutest calves on the planet, Dottie Moo and Speckles, ready for their close-up. This event is part of the Adopt a Cow program. More than 48,000 classes and 2.1 million students all joined the program for free, thanks to Dairy West and Dairy Farmers of Washington and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. And I know many of you are already excited for next year. So go ahead and mark your calendars because enrollment already opens May 1st. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt once registration is live and get re-enrolled for next year. Feel free to welcome all of your friends to join too. And because this event is live, we want to hear from you. Go ahead and drop those questions and comments in that chat throughout our time together. We're excited to hear from you. We're ready to give your questions to Farmer Lisa. And we're just excited to fill that chat with all kinds of energy. Speaking of that chat, let's see who's joining us today. All right, so one of the very first classes to join us, I'm scrolling all the way up to the top here. We've got our class at Northwood Elementary in Mercer Island, and they're here for Dottie Moo. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We have some fifth graders who are joining us from Longview, Washington in Northlake Elementary School. Hello, and they're here for Speckles. Thanks for joining us, guys. How about we've got Amistad Elementary, who loves Speckles. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. How about Mrs. Cook's class joining us from Monte Cristo Elementary? Hello and welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We have a middle school science class from Valley, Washington. Hello, welcome. Thank you for hopping on. Let's do one or two more as we go down here. We have some homeschoolers from Lake Stevens. Hello and welcome, homeschoolers, and all of our other homeschoolers that are joining us today. We're so excited to have you. And how about one or two more? We've got Miss Stopper's class from Cape Horn Sky. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we have some folks from Mrs. Kincaid's class in North Shore Christian Academy in Everett, Washington. Hey all, thank you so much for joining us. There are many more of you who are on here. We'll try to give you as many shout outs as possible as we go today. We really appreciate you making time today and getting a chance to meet Farmer Lisa. Speaking of Farmer Lisa, I am excited to introduce you to her. Hey Farmer Lisa, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brittany?
I am doing so well. We are thrilled to be here with you. It looks like it's a beautiful day here in Washington. We have a lot of really excited folks who are here to see Dottie Moo and Speckles, who we'll get to in a minute. But first, I would love for you, Lisa, to go ahead and introduce yourself. What's your role on the farm? Talk a little bit about you, and just give us a reminder overview about the farm.
Sure. So I am a recently retired school principal, and I traded careers. I went from kids to cows. And my role here on the dairy is I do all the dairy tours. So I have a strong connection with the school community near us, and I do some dairy education and also all the tours here on the dairy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So remind us a little bit, Farmer Lisa, about Coulee Flats Farm. So how many cows are you milking on the farm?
We are currently milking 9,800 cows 3 times a day.
Wow, 9,800 cows 3 times a day. How many people does that take to staff and man 9,800 cows milking? I know that means there's many more young stock, right? But so about how many people are employed on your farm?
A little over 100.
My goodness. So there's probably somebody who's managing the people, and then there's also somebody managing the
Yes,
cows, right?
yes, yes.
That's incredible. And then so your role on the farm is getting to connect with all of you who are on the call here today, right? Anyone that's come to join your farm and do tours, and really connect those passions together of teaching and your newfound passion of dairy, which I absolutely love. What's been your favorite part so far as you stepped into this role with Coulee Flats Farm? What's kind of been your favorite part of joining the farm?
Uh, Definitely the cows.
Yeah.
Um, I and the the education aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opportunity to connect with kids and teachers and homeschoolers and
Yeah.
um, sort of tie the education piece in with the dairy piece.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, very cool. Thank you so much for making time for us today to get to connect. And we got a little sneak peek there of one of them. So why don't we go ahead and turn our camera over to the spotlights of the year, right? Dottie Moo and Speckles, and get an update on how they're doing. So let's get a reminder here. Let me pull up my notes. So at the beginning of the program year, which one do we see first? Which one's in the front?
That is Speckles.
All right, so let's start with Speckles. We'll highlight Speckles here. So Speckles was 32 inches and 91 pounds when she was born. And then at the most recent 6-month update, we said she was 411 pounds and 57 inches. How big do you think she is now?
She weighs about 480 pounds now.
Wow. So she's put on almost 70 pounds, which is crazy. But I mean, they grow pretty fast in weight at this age, right, Farmer Lisa?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, awesome. So about 480 pounds for any of you who are charting it. And we had discussed they're probably about a half an inch to an inch taller. Does that sound about right?
Yes, that's about right.
Okay, so we can go ahead and put maybe 57.5 or 58 inches on our growth charts in our schools and at home. Awesome. So then we've got Dottie Moo, right? So they were really close in height and weight when they first started. She was 32 inches tall and 90 pounds when she was born. And then at our 6-month update, there was 409 pounds and 55 inches. So a little bit shorter, just a smidge bit lighter. Where do you think she's at now in her growth at 7 months old?
She weighs about 470 pounds.
Wow, 470 pounds and about 55.5 inches or 56 inches. Awesome. So she's a little bit lighter. Is that normal for calves to be different heights and weights? Is that just how genetics works for cows?
Oh yes, they vary
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Oh my goodness. They look to be buddies. Have you noticed if they've palled off at all in the pen? I know they live with a big group of calves, or they look to be buddies, or are they just kind of hanging out because that's where we're at today?
They do hang out
Yeah.
together. They're in the same housing unit right now,
Yeah.
and they definitely seem to like each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how many, I know they live in a big group together. About how many other heifers are in the group pen with them?
About 200 now.
Wow. So they started, right? They started in their own little space, just like we do when we're newborns, and then they moved to a small group, and now they're in a group of 200. Similar, I would say, to how we are, maybe middle school and younger high school, right? It's kind of like
Yes.
moving schools. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I tell kids on the tour, that
Yeah.
it's like they're in middle school now.
All right, so our cute Dottie Moo and Speckles are like middle schoolers, so we know the kind of attitudes that can come along with middle schoolers, right, for Lisa? So
Yes.
maybe they've got some spunk in their steps sometimes, and so they're going to do whatever they want on this call. But hopefully they kind of hang out with us. It looks like the grass is entertaining them a little bit right now,
Oh
which
yes.
which
Oh
is
yes.
certainly good. So we know they're living with a group of 200 other heifers, and they seem to be really doing happy and healthy. Can you talk to us a little bit about what are they eating right now? And I think you might have some samples that you could show us.
Yes. So this is a
Awesome.
sample of what they're eating.
Okay.
And unlike people who eat generally 3 meals a day, our cows and heifers, they have feed in front of them at all times. And this is a mixed ration so that we don't feed them one certain thing in the morning and a different thing at night. It's all the nutrients that they need are in here. And we have feed in front of them 24 hours a day, and they snack all throughout the day and all throughout the night. They're growing,
Wow.
yes, and they're eating about 16 to 18 pounds of feed a day at this point.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a lot of food compared to what I think we eat in a day. But
Oh, yes,
they're certainly much heavier than us, so that certainly makes sense. So that and you had said it was a TMR, a total mixed ration, right?
yep, that's correct.
Awesome.
This is a sample of what they ate when they were first born.
Okay, so it looks like more pelleted. We can see the corn in there. Any idea like why the change and how come they don't eat grain all their life? Just curious about that.
Well, they have different nutritional needs as they get older, and we have a
Sure.
nutritionist on site who is constantly evaluating their diet so that we make sure that they're getting exactly what they need to be as healthy as possible and the best milk producers they can be. So just
Yeah.
throughout their lives, it's evaluated and changes. Their
Yeah.
protein needs change and things like that.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. I mean, we as humans certainly have different nutritional needs as we get older. I know when they were first born, do you have a calf bottle by any chance with you? I think when they're first born, right, they get milk. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Hmm.
They get a formula. They get 2 bottles a day. Their first bottle is about 7 o'clock in the morning. They get another one at 2 o'clock, and they get these in all the way until they're moved out of their hutches. So they're about
Okay.
2 months old. They have 2 of these bottles a day, and they also have grain as well. So
Gotcha. Okay. So milk to start their life, as we learned throughout the program, and they switch to that grain. And now they're on that delicious TMR, and they'll be eating a variety or a version of that TMR pretty much the rest of their life, right? It'll change a little bit, but
yes,
that'll be their diet for forever now.
yes, yes. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that dairy cows have a lot of different ingredients in their diet, and depending on their stage of life, their diet does change. And so we have a recipe that we follow depending on their stage of life. And they
Wow.
eat a lot more than just hay and grass.
Hmm. Well, that's really cool. So, I mean, I think you mentioned already, right? It's specially formulated, which means you're working with a nutritionist. And I mean, you mentioned proteins, right? So it sounds like everything that you're doing is making sure that these girls are getting exactly what their body needs. It sounds like they're eating better than I am, Farmer Lisa. I don't know about you, but they
Yeah,
they're getting really good diets to have the healthiest body condition possible. That's
I
awesome.
mean, definitely.
Yeah, very cool. So now we're looking at them here a little bit, and we're noticing their ear tags, and they've got a couple of different ear tags going on. Can you explain to us, what's the purpose of each one of those ear tags?
Sure. So the yellow ear tags tell us, it identifies which cow they are. So all of our data is collected in a computer system. So
Hmm.
the all the data on each of these cows, we know their birth weight, we know everything about them. Now that's the yellow tag that identifies them. The blue
Hmm.
tag, that's an activity monitor. So
Oh,
when they're born, they are given that activity monitor and all of the data about how many steps, how much they lay down, how much they drink, how much they eat. Um, all of that is downloaded into the computer so that if they change from their normal, what's normal from them, we get an
hmm.
alert so that if they're sick, we can tend to them right away.
Wow. So that's the trick to managing all 9,800 milk cows and all the calves. So they're literally wearing essentially a Fitbit, right? That's tracking everything they're doing.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. That is awesome. And then you mentioned a computer, so that goes like to a computer and a phone and anyone on the farm that has the app can essentially check it anytime?
Yes, yes, and it. Let me tell you, there's so much data on our cows that that really helps us to be efficient and effective and give them the best care possible.
Yeah, I believe it, right? It's giving everything you possibly can collect. So you guys are analyzing and looking at it, and it's so essentially, you know how our watches tell us after we've been sitting for over an hour, it tells us we need to walk. It probably does something similar for you guys. If a cow hasn't been moving, it probably tells you, this girl hasn't gotten up for a while. Maybe you should go check on her, right?
Exactly.
That's incredible. So we are getting a little sneak peek of this cute little calf behind them. Do you want to just talk real quick about what the calf is back there? Because this calf looks absolutely adorable hanging out in the back pen there.
So I thought it would be helpful to bring, she is 2 days old.
Oh.
And so she is the size of the very first pictures that everybody got of Dottie Moo and Speckles, just to see how much she's changed over the last, how much they've changed over the last 6.5 months. So she's just been hanging out. And earlier, you know, Speckles and Dottie Moo were taking care of her and licking her. And
they were being big sisters essentially, right? That's adorable.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I can't believe. I mean, look at the difference just as our adopted calf is standing here and then our 2-day-old calf. They grow so much in just a few short months. So if they grow this much in 2 short months, when do you consider a cow full grown?
About when they're about 15 months old.
Okay.
Well, not okay. They're not full grown at that point, but that's about
Sure.
the time when we start to breed them. They do actually get bigger after that.
Sure. Okay. So they're old enough to be bred at that point, right? So,
Yes.
and then they have their first calf like around 2 years old. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, around 2 or a little bit later, but
Okay.
roughly 2 years old.
Okay, nice. So our adopted calves here will probably be a mama for the first time when they're about 2 years old. Does that sound right?
Yep, that's
Oh
right.
my goodness, that's exciting. All right. So while we've been chatting here, we've got some really great questions that have been coming in from Lisa from our classes. So we're going to go ahead and dive into some of those if you're all right with that.
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. We actually just answered the one was how long until Speckles and Dottie Moo can be moms. So yeah, as Farmer Lisa just said, they'll be about 2 years old when they have their first calf. And Farmer Lisa, that means then they'll start producing milk. Can you explain that a little bit, the milking
Sure.
process and joining the milking herd?
Sure. So, first of all, I always tell kids when they come on tours that girls rule on the dairy, because only girls make the milk, and they don't start to produce milk until they've had their first calf. So at about 2 years old, they have their first calf, and then they continue to have calves about every year after that. So they have to continue to have calves to keep their milk supply up.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Just like humans, right? We have to have a baby in order for us to have us have milk to produce for our babies. So same thing for cows. Same thing.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. A good question here. How do you know what type of cow it is? So, right, we're looking at our black and white cows. Do you all have only black and white cows?
Yes.
And okay.
So our cows are they're Holstein. We only have Holstein cows here, and different farmers choose to breed different cows for their variety of reasons. But we just have Holsteins here.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. Oh, we have a question specifically about the names. We were curious, how did you come up with the names Dottie Moo and Speckles? Because they are pretty creative names.
Well, I was just thinking about my experience in the classroom, and I try to think about names that both describe the cows, but would also that I thought kids would connect with.
Sure. Oh,
So
I love that.
that's
So
how
definitely, right, had the kids in mind as you were deciding what names to pick.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. All right. If we want to go ahead, we can get the camera to focus on the adopted calves while we answer the rest of the questions here. Yep, and we'll walk through some more questions. We can just see them being cute and hanging out. Oh, I see we're enjoying some grass. I can you remind us because they look so much alike? Which one is which again? Which one's on the right? Which one's on the left?
This one here on the left, this is Dottie Moo.
There we go.
And this is Speckles over here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they're so big. So we have a curious question about the size of the farm. Do you have any idea how many acres the farm is?
Oh yes, The entire farm here is 3,500 acres.
Wow.
And in 2008 is when we first started milking cows here. Before
Okay.
that, it wasn't a dairy. So
Wow.
originally, when we first started milking cows, we had about 3,000 cows, and now we're up to the 9,800 cows.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's a relatively new farm, which is kind of cool, right? I would say that's probably a unique situation. Most farms tend to be somewhat generational. So I love that you guys were able to start something new, start a dairy farm, and really provide a delicious quality product for your community. I love that you've been able to bring something local to everyone in your surrounding areas and in Washington. That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. We've got someone that's curious. They wanted to know if you happen to know who the heaviest or tallest cow is on the farm, or maybe how big one has gotten on the farm.
I don't know, but the old ladies are definitely the biggest. The ones that are, the ones that are 5 and 6 years old. They're. I mean, I don't know. They're I way taller than these ladies.
Yeah,
I, I
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how tall, but they're huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I know like on average, right, a mature, 4 or 5 year old cow that I mean some can get up to 1,800 or 2,000 pounds, especially a milking Holstein. So yeah, they've got a long way to go. And then there's always those unique ones that can get even bigger, which is
Oh
just
yes,
incredible.
definitely when they're going around the rotary parlor and they're being milked. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I don't know if she's gonna fit.
And that's all just genetics, right? Like same thing as humans. That we've got some people who are 6'10", and we've got some people who are 4'8", right? It's all about just the genetics of the cow.
Yes.
Awesome.
One
Very
thing
cool.
one thing I did one thing I didn't mention was that each of our cows is producing about 10 to 11 gallons of milk per day,
Oh
and we
wow.
have, I don't know if you can see the milk truck here that's picking up the milk right now in the background,
Yeah,
but
I
we have a
can.
10 to 11 of those milk trucks come every day and take the milk to the Dairy Gold plant that's just down the road about 8 miles.
Wow. So that's the milk truck where all the milk is getting put on. And you said about 8 to 10 miles away it goes?
Yeah, it goes about 8 to 10 miles
Oh
away.
my
There's a
goodness.
brand new plant that was built in Pasco, Washington. So, and we're really close to that. So,
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like a perfect opportunity for you guys to be so close. So the milk really isn't going very far. That trip is quick. And just to go back on that, so you said 10 to 11 gallons of milk per cow per day, and you're milking 9,800 cows. So for anyone that's on here doing that math, they can see that's a lot of milk you guys are producing. Wow. Do you have any idea what that milk is being turned into at the plant? Is it staying as fluid milk? Does it get turned into any of the goodies, anything like that?
the plant in Pasco makes powdered milk and butter. So
Uh-huh.
not the, you know, ice cream that we would like, or
Right.
maybe something, a little bit more delicious and fun. But all
Right.
the powdered milk and butter is what's made in Pasco.
Okay, awesome. I mean, butter can be turned into plenty of delicious things.
That is
So that
true.
sounds like an amazing opportunity for sure. Very cool. Let's see. We have a good question, right? So we talked about how these girls are in groups of 200 heifers. So we're curious, do they get to have a lot of social time, at this age, and do they get a lot of social time as an adult cow? Like, what does their day to day look like?
Well, at this stage, they are basically, I say they're just on recess almost all day. They're super curious, and if when I'm bringing tours around, we'll stop at the fence, and they all come running to say hello, and they
Oh,
chase each other and like to, I don't know, they just seem to like licking each other and
hmm
all that kind of stuff. It seems like they're grooming each other and hanging out. They definitely
oh,
seem like they're having fun, bucking
yeah.
around and chasing each other, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's
Now,
fun.
when they turn into milk cows, then their day is 3 times a day they get milked. So
Sure.
they do a lot of time eating and resting and
hmm
playing. They still play when they get older, and they also get milked.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of that milking process a little bit, we did have someone, they were curious, do you milk any cows by hand anymore? Or what does that milking process actually look like for a cow?
So we do not milk the cows by hand. We have a 120 stall rotary parlor where the cows enter and they get disinfected with iodine and washed, hooked up to the machine, and they go for an 8-minute ride, which they love. And then when they're done being milked, they go back to their pens. And the whole
Hmm.
process of being milked, from the time they get picked up to being done milked, done being milked, and brought back to their pen, takes about 45 minutes.
Wow. And really they're just taking a carousel ride, it sounds like, right? They're just
Yes,
taking a
yes,
loop around and then there's probably people standing on the outside that are just putting the milker on. It's
yep,
nice and relaxing. And
yes.
so we had someone curious, is it hard to use the machine? But it sounds pretty easy and enjoyable, right?
Well, and the cows are trained; they know exactly what to do, and it's
Wow.
actually pretty amazing to see. I know that in the video that was released earlier, there's a clip that shows it. If
Hmm.
anyone wants to go back and see that, but
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think carousel parlors are one of the really unique things that some farms have. Obviously, it's usually typically on bigger farms, but I mean, if you ever have the opportunity to watch a video like Farmer Lisa just said, or get a chance to visit a farm and see a carousel move, these cows are so calm. They just hop on like it's a little ride for the day, and then they hop off. It's pretty cool, and certainly very easy and keeps everyone, people and cows safe. They're really an awesome way to milk cows. Cool.
yeah, we call it the Mooey go round.
The movie go round. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I love that. Farmer Lisa, a really great question for you. We're curious, what's your favorite part of working on the farm? I know you handle, mostly the tours and stuff, but is there a part of the farm that's your favorite part to go to or be part of or anything like that?
So my actual very favorite part is going out to where we raise our heifers. So where Dottie Moo and Speckles are at now.
Okay.
There, I love going out there and going up to the fence because they make me feel like, I don't know, I'm a movie star or something. They come running, they all come over, and I'm always, a little sad that I don't have more to offer them. I think they think I'm gonna have something great, but I really enjoyed that age. But obviously the babies are awesome too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, when they're heifers, they're really curious and they're like, who is walking through our pen area? And they probably are coming right up close to check you out. So, yeah, that makes sense. I love that. Farmer Lisa, this has been so much fun to get to chat with you and learn more about our cute Dottie Moo and Speckles. I can't believe they've just been hanging out here with us, and they seem to really like you and our camera friend here. So they've definitely behaved for us, and even our 2-day-old little calf in the back has been all curled up and cute. We've really just enjoyed getting to chat with you. I can't believe we're already at our half hour here. I did have one more question here. Someone was curious about comparing your time as a principal versus time as being a dairy farmer and just, if is one easier or more fun or, what's kind of your perspective on that career shift?
Ooh, I really love being a school principal, and I was a teacher before that. Um, I mean, that was the best.
Hmm.
So I feel like I'm really fortunate that I have the tie-in now that I'm on the dairy with the kids, so I can still
Yeah,
have that connection with teachers and kids.
that's
But I
awesome.
I'd have to probably say I really love being a principal. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, there's something really unique and fun working with amazing teachers like everyone that's on here today and working with great kids, especially when they have a passion for just learning. And then we personally love all of you who are excited to learn about cows. So I can agree with you. I think, getting to work with amazing students and teachers is pretty rewarding. But
yeah,
we certainly are thankful for your time and service and dedication to the dairy industry and all that you and your family do to make sure that our girls are well taken care of and providing a really awesome, healthy product for us. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us today? Or actually, you know what? I did have one more question. I'm curious, what's the why behind you being part of the farm, and just in general, the farm starting in 2008. It's a very new farm, right? So, what's the why behind the start of the program, start of the farm, and your involvement in the farm?
The why
Hmm.
is I felt like it was a really awesome way I could support my husband, and
Yeah.
I feel it's very helpful to have agriculture education and for people
Hmm.
to learn where their food comes from. And
Yeah.
um, so I love that part of it.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
that's my why.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Farmer Lisa. This has been so much fun. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us today before we tune off?
I think we got it.
All right. Yeah, this has truly been an amazing visit. Thank you so much, Farmer Lisa, for opening your barn doors and letting us meet Dottie Moo and Speckles up close. Of course, now she just decides to get up and hang out with us and stop being lazy. But she was very relaxed with you, and I love that. And thank you all of our classrooms, our teachers, our students for joining the fun today and really asking some good questions. I know we didn't even get to a tenth of your questions. You have all been really excited and engaging on that chat. Thank you for participating and being part of today. We hope you had fun learning about life on the dairy farm and seeing how your adopted calves grow all year long. If you love this experience and want to join the adventure again, don't forget registration enrollment does open starting May 1st. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. And there, once registration opens, we would love for you to join. And don't forget to invite your friends for next year too. From all of us at Discover Dairy and Coulee Flats Dairy, thank you for spending your afternoon with us. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we hope to see you again next year. Bye, everybody.